You are about to witness something that has never been done before, because everywhere you look, you're going to see some overpromising guru saying that they're going to get you rich quick if only you were to buy their $1,500 course. And any free courses that you do end up finding are full of fluff. The information inside is irrelevant and it doesn't actually work today, or it's purposely missing out information so that the guru can, again, try to sell you the missing information in their course. Well, look, enough is enough. You don't need to drop thousands of dollars on some overpriced course in order to start making money online. And that is exactly why I'm creating this completely free mega course that is going to teach you step by step how you can make over 10K per month in as little as 90 days from watching this course with online freelance copywriting. So look, if you're still skeptical, you probably should be, but the proof is on this very channel. Because look, with the information that you're about to learn, I myself have been able to build a business that generates me over $100,000 every single month in complete profit. All of that at the age of 24, where at 22, I was literally working a minimum wage job. But regular everyday students are crushing it with freelance online copywriting as well.
I actually made $18.6 thousand this month.
I reached 10K a month.
Last month I made 13.3K.
I made around $12,000.
I'm able to travel whenever I want.
I have the ability to also take my family on vacation. We're going next week.
I was able to quit college.
People are not gonna believe this. I started making 10K. I started making 10K. You can look at the receipts. I started making 10K a month on month 3.
Life's good, can't complain.
To be honest, man, it's changed my entire life.
Around 9 months ago, I created a completely free 4-hour copywriting course, and that course alone was responsible for thousands of different people becoming full-time online freelance copywriters. Now, this course was an absolute hit. It was a certified hood classic. It got almost 2 million views in less than a year, and is one of the most watched videos on YouTube with the word copywriting in the title. And sure, while it's impossible to say that that's not pretty impressive, crazy thing is that what you're about to witness in this free course is going to make that course seem like just a drop in the bucket, because we are going to be going even deeper than that. I've poured hundreds of man hours and my own hours, spent tens of thousands of dollars, and also have hired multiple new employees just to create this course and actually bring it to you guys completely free of charge. And we're going to be going way deeper than just theories or advice or tips. I'm going to be giving you literally everything from the screenshots of me actually closing clients and me making money and how my students are doing it as well, the actual templates we use, how to use AI to create copywriting quicker and make it even better than copy that even we could write. So look, my big promise is that when you complete this video, you are going to walk away with every piece of knowledge to get from wherever you are at right now to 10K per month with freelance online copywriting. And with this newfound path and scale, you are going to be able to achieve time, location, and of course, financial freedom. Now, look, I've done enough talking and I'm sure you're more than ready to get into the video. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the brand new free mega course. Man, today we are going to be making nothing short of history. So without any further ado, let's hop right into the free copywriting mega course. Literally everything you need to know about learning copywriting, getting clients, and making 10K a month or more with freelance online copywriting. Now, just as a warning, this whole video and free mega course is going to be long. So in order to chunk it down and watch it over time, make sure you like this video so that you can find it later in your YouTube playlist, because it will show you all your liked videos and you'll be able to quicker find it. And you can also go down below and comment your timestamp of when you leave off and where you can come back. Now, I do recommend that you go over the whole thing all at once, but I understand that it's going to be a long time, so that might not be possible for some people, but it is what it is. So what is copywriting and how can it actually change your life? Well, as you can see here from this photo, this was a vision board actually that I created. At the top, you see I wanted a really nice car. Right there, you can see I also wanted a nice watch. I also wanted to wear suits and dress up nicely. I also wanted to have some jewelry, and I also wanted to live in the penthouse. And here's how it changed my life. So look, those are the things that I wanted eventually, like once I graduated high school, but this is actually my high school transcript. And the reason why I wanted to show you this is actually because I want to prove to you that you don't need to be a super smart person. Because back when I was in high school or when I was broke or, just still working a 9 to 5, I had this limiting belief that the people who actually made it in business and made tons of money, those were the people who are just like extremely smart. Like they are just completely, IQ is like 200. They're extremely intelligent, and I have no chance of matching them, especially because I was the guy who got terrible grades. Guys, as you can see, going from the top down, okay, my first one there is food science. I took food science because I needed it to graduate high school because I failed physics 11. As you can see, I got a 42. You need a 50 to pass. Okay, so anything under a 50 is a F, it's a fail. Anything above that is something that you can pass. As you can see, I don't think I have any 90s. I have literally no A's on my whole report card. Mathematics, I got a 53, mathematics 12. So the other thing to note is that nobody actually gets a 51, 52, 53, or 54. That means that they failed, meaning they got a 40 something, but the teacher of the class fudged the numbers a little bit, maybe bumped up some scores over here, bumped up some scores over here, and actually just kind of pushed you through. So essentially, I pretty much failed math. I actually failed physics. Like the teacher was like, bro, I can't even do anything for you. I can't even fudge the numbers enough to make you pass. So physics failed. Canadian history failed, but they pushed me through because he gave me a 51. English 11, 62. Now this is a pretty bad mark, but in English, so I'm a copywriter. I use the English language every single day. But again, I prove this. I want to put this in here to prove that you don't have to be some sort of English brainiac. Like it's really not about being an extremely good writer, because in copywriting, the best copywriting is the simplest. You're going to learn the lessons later on, but you don't want to write copy that's any more complicated than a 3rd grade reading level, because that's what most people read at. So English, 62. Mathematics in grade 11, 59, still almost failed. Music failed. I passed with a 52. In music class, dude, that's because I literally just didn't show up, because I was literally that kid that just didn't care about school, didn't care about money, lazy, didn't want to do anything. And again, the reason why I say that is because you don't have to be somebody who is just top student of your class. You don't need to be super ambitious. Like I was never super ambitious, but I still made it with copywriting. I still became successful later on. English in grade 10, I got a 56. Science, 57. I mean, all my grades are bad. Like my best grade was an 86, and that was in production technology, which is a fancy word for wood shop, which, I mean, you'll see, went on to serve me because I became a carpenter. But it wasn't until I started working 9 to 5s that I knew I needed to do better. See, in high school, I thought it was all sweet. I thought it was like, oh, whatever, screw this. I'll just get like a construction job or a trades job out of high school. I'll just do that for the rest of my life, and, I'll be happy and make money. But little did I know that this is really what 9 to 5s meant for me. Okay. So first of all, I was a carpenter walking to work every day. I was so broke, I couldn't afford a car, and I was walking to work in a blizzard, as you can see in that middle photo. Then on the left and right photos, you can see that I was just hard at work every single day, cutting up wood, creating some decks, nailing some wood together. I mean, it was hard work, because this was me over here in the summer and this was me over here in the winter. It was extremely hot. I was working outside every single day, also working rain or shine. And also when it did rain, sometimes the rain would be so bad that they would call off work, not because they actually cared about us, but because they cared about the tools. Because if the tools get ruined, then that's going to cost them money. But the main thing was that just the working conditions were awful, bro. They were bad. And I knew I didn't want to be doing that forever. And I was also in the military. As you can see here, these are some training pictures. That's why I'm not in my actual uniform. I was just like at training. So as you can see, I was there with my weapon. And down here on the right is me just sleeping in a trench. Really just chilling, sleeping in a trench for like a whole week. And then here is me as a security guard. As you can see there on the left, it was 2 a.m. in the morning and I was tired as hell. I actually just got off of another shift as a carpenter and then did night shift as a security guard. And on weekends and also summers, I would work in the military as a reservist. So as you can guess, my life was hectic. Work. That's all that I knew when I got out of high school. And I started to learn something. I was like, you know what? This isn't really life. This isn't really life for me. I'm literally living for like the weekend. Or on the weekend, maybe I'll get to like go out and party and have some quote unquote fun, which is really escapism. But that was my life. There's nothing wrong with working 9 to 5. I just knew it wasn't for me. Working all those 9 to 5s, working my fingers to the bone. And then every month, bro, bills would just be lurking. Bills would be sitting there going like this, being like, oh yeah, man, look at this. This dude just got paid a paycheck. Oh yeah, that's mine. I knew that I could do better. I wasn't making enough money. I knew I didn't want to work 80 plus hours per week. I didn't want to have to work 80 plus hours a week. Now, because I'm doing what I love, I work every waking moment. But it's because I love it. And if I want to take days off, if I want to take weeks off, I can do that too. So I started to try to make money online, but kept failing. There's my vision board again there on the right. That's actually when I just took it and I put it on my wall. Over here is my whiteboard on the left. So I wanted to be a future millionaire. I'm going to quit my job in 6 months or less. Those were my very, very main goals. So I tried copywriting and still failed miserably. Right? This is one of those things where I was like, oh man, like I came across this thing copywriting and then I was instantly successful at it. I started making $12 million a month. Like it was not that, dude. Like I tried the whole make money online with copywriting thing and failed miserably, dude. As you can see here, is my bank account. On the bottom, it's my Visa credit card. So I owed $4,000 in credit card debt and I had $250 in my account, bro. $250. And that $250, like rent was coming up. So it was going to be gone. And then I was going to be in even more debt. And this credit card's maxed out too. Like this credit card has a $4,000 max on it. And I have $250 in my account and I ain't even paid yet and rent's coming up. Man, like there's nothing more stressful than just not having the money for stuff and having to tell people, yeah, I can't get the money to you right now and wondering if your lights are going to get cut off. So I started to mend together a system that would eventually lead me to landing multiple high paying copywriting deals. And finally, after that, things started to click because all the things that I was learning at that time, dude, none of them were effective. None of them worked. And like, I get it. It's not that the things don't work. It's that you don't work hard enough. But no, like literally the things that I was getting taught, like just were not working. Like they gave hundreds of thousands of people the same template, told them to go use it online and use it. And this is going to get you clients. And I was using the same stuff everyone else was using. And it was just awful. And then I started doing different things. I started finding clients in different places, outreaching to them in different ways. And only then did I start to actually learn how to get high paying clients and make money with copywriting. And finally, things just started to click. As you can see here, I got my first $2,000 deal. And then over here, I started making $7,000. And since starting copywriting in 2022, I've been able to build my own $1 million business. I have multiple streams of income. As you can see, I have a YouTube channel, which is doing really well. I have education business and I also have other private clients as well. Now, I'm living the life that I want to live. This is me in my Corvette, me and my Corvette when I just got it actually that day. Me and my Audi, I bought that car as well. Me and my Camaro, I bought that car as well. Still own all these cars. I also have another car, a Ram. I didn't put it on here as a brand new truck, but you know what? You get it. I love cars. Cars are my thing. I'm a car guy. As you can see, I'm now living in the penthouse. I'm living this is almost the exact same type of place that I wanted in my vision board. Also, I get to travel. I literally never left Canada in my whole entire life. I'm 24 years old. I was 24 years old before I even left my home country. Because, dude, I could barely survive, let alone vacation. Bro, vacation was the last thing on my mind. And this is me also in Texas. Next, I went to Houston, Texas, and I literally was just like hanging out. I saw somebody say something cool about Houston, and I went the next week. I just went the next week. Never been in the US before in my life. And this is me also in Toronto in the CN Tower. And this is me achieving another one of my lifetime dreams. Like, dude, I started my first YouTube channel when I was like 13. I could have never imagined. And of course, copywriting is what got me here because you're going to learn as we go on that copywriting is one of the most transferable skills in the whole world. You're able to learn how to make content. You're able to learn how to market. You're able to learn how to sell. There's nothing that you can't use copywriting with. Now I have an unfair advantage in everything that I do. If you took all my money and said you can't make money with copywriting anymore or anything that has to do with how you're already making money, dude, I don't care what it is. I have an unfair advantage in anything. I could do e-commerce. I could do even like trading and investing. Like I understand about money now. I'm financially literate. Like there's so many things that I learned from my copywriting journey. And not only was I making money, but the clients that I was working with were getting crazy results too. And you'll see, I'll show you the screenshots, but this felt amazing. There's nothing worse than being at a job and feeling like you're kind of like useless and you're not actually doing any good. I was making my clients so much money that like, oh my God, that feeling is just one that you can't even put it into words. The English language cannot describe how good that feels. This was because what I was doing wasn't just copywriting. It was something similar, but way better. And I showed it to others too, and they started winning big as well. So yes, copywriting is a big thing, and copywriting is how you can start making money online, but understand that copywriting is just the tip of the iceberg, man. The tip of the iceberg. We want to be digital marketers. So when we're digital marketers, we don't just write copy. We do other supporting skills as well. By doing these other supporting skills, we can increase our prices, we can make businesses more money, and we can become more versatile just overall. overall. And it's amazing like that. Over here, you can see in the bottom left, my man Zenos actually made his first 10K a month. I asked him how long it took you. He said 50 days to get to this point. And here in the middle, you can see Frozen. In that month, he did over 3 grand. Over here is our boy Tay Rax. He did 3 grand with one project and then some other projects as well. And in this complete free mega course, I'm going to hold nothing back. This is what I desperately wish that I had when I was in your shoes. So do yourself a favor and don't take it for granted. And you want to know how, when I started copywriting was 2 years ago. Right now it's 2024. I started in 2022 and I now have $1 million business. It literally generates me over 100K every single month. And I was literally on the other side of the screen where you are at right now, sitting down, watching some dude talk about copywriting. It's insane how fast stuff can change. Here are the 3 main things that you need to know. First of all, your circumstances do not matter. It's possible for you, and normal people are winning every single day. And the stuff that I'm about to show you works. And there's going to be proof along the whole way. So lock in and let's begin, my friends. Right before we get into things, I wanted to speak on one last thing before we get in, because I'm going to get this question a lot, and I've already gotten this question a lot after the free 4-hour course that I uploaded. And that is, Tyson, why? Why are you doing this if it's all free? And there's no pitches in this whole thing. Like, I'm not going to try to push you something, a course or something down the line. But the reason why I'm creating this completely free mega course, and it's something that's free for you guys, but costs me tens of thousands of dollars and also hours and hours and months of my time, is because, well, there's a few reasons. First and foremost, the philanthropic reason, the selfless reason is, of course, that I want to help the people who were like me when I first started, because I was desperately looking for help, but I couldn't find anybody. And there was free stuff out there, but none of it was nearly as good as the stuff that I'm putting out today. And the other selfish reasons is because I want to be the best at what I do. I didn't come out here to play. I didn't come out here to win. I came out here to be the absolute best. I want to be the Michael Jordan. People think of digital marketing. People think of making money online. People think about copywriting. They think of me. I'm the guy that does that. I'm the GOAT. And in order to further cement my position as the GOAT, though, I have to do this. I have to make you guys money, because once I make all of you guys money, now I'm the dude who made all these dudes money. I'm the guy who's actually out here helping people. And that's what I want to be known for. And of course, this indirectly helps my business because it gets me more people come across my channel, more people know about my brand. That is why I decided to create this whole thing for absolutely free and give away all of my secrets. So with all that being said, let's lock in and begin. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the free mega course. Without any further ado, let's hop right into it. This is the free copywriting mega course. Everything you need to become a full-time freelance copywriter, working from anywhere in the world and making bank. So let's talk about the bird's eye view. Okay, what does it look like from a 30-foot perspective? So number 1 is the fundamentals of copywriting: principles, email, sales pages, video sales letters, using AI, building a copywriting portfolio, and basically everything in between. We're also going to talk about some software stuff, but I might save that for later. Next, we're going to be talking about getting copywriting clients and getting paid in the next 30 days from watching this very video. In fact, I want you to get your first client in the next couple of days after watching this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how. So outreach screenshots, new outreach methods, offers, sales calls, prospecting. And in this section, I'm going to be sharing outreach methods that I've never shared before, conversations with clients and with past prospects that have turned into clients that I haven't shown before. Also show my students and how they're doing it as well, which again, I've never shown before. So everything is inside right there. Next is the complementary skills. Okay, that's where we're going to be talking about building landing pages, email list management, email automations, sales funnels, what the process actually looks like, how to make it in the software, and everything in between. Guys, this is the one thing that's going to make you bank as a copywriter. It's what's going to take you and separate you from everybody else and what everybody else is doing, because everybody else is out here saying, yeah, I'll write the copy for you, but all they know how to operate is a Google Doc. If you know how to operate these other software systems and actually the funnel itself, if you know how to manipulate it in order to make your copy present and perform its best, dude, that is where you're going to make the biggest amount of revenue. That's where you're going to make the biggest amount of money for yourself and also for your clients as well. Next is the long-term plays, building your leverage, making it easier to get clients in the future, and also building your efficiency, meaning getting clients without having to do hundreds of outreaches. Because by the time I was making like 5 to 7K a month, I didn't really have to outreach anymore to get to that 10K a month. I'm going to show you exactly how here. Next is securing your first 3K a month clients, so the clients that are actually going to start paying you bank, scaling clients, outreaching to bigger brands and what that looks like, because outreaching to the bigger brands and the bigger clients is going to be much different. Okay, you're going to spend your time differently. You're going to showcase yourself differently. Your offers are going to be different. And next is actually scaling to that 10K a month, juggling multiple clients, getting great client results, and also scaling past 10K a month and what it looks like to hit 20K, 30K, and 40K a month. So we're going to be going through all of those And essentially the formula looks like this. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I'm actually a registered artist. I'm essentially a prodigy. And throughout this whole presentation, I have some of my art on display. So all I got to say for that is, of course, you're welcome. And yeah, if you haven't picked it up so far, I'm being sarcastic. As you can see, step number 1 is to get good, meaning the minimum viable skill. You need to achieve your minimum viable skill in order to actually start outreaching and get clients. Well, what does that look like? How do you know that you're there, and so on and so forth? Well, we're going to talk about that. Next is actually getting the money. How you get that money, how you get that cash, how you get the bread, how you get that first little bit of Wi-Fi money into your pocket. Then we're going to talk about getting better. That's really it. Getting good, getting money, and getting better. And then that's how you ultimately get rich. That's really it. That's all it is skill acquisition. Skill acquisition. It is not some stupid, dumb formula money hack, GTA 5 glitch in real life. Like, it's not any of that nonsense. It's literally just learning high income skills and then improving them, and then getting more clients, getting better clients, improving your skills even more, getting even better clients, and so on and so forth. And once you understand marketing and sales, you will never go hungry. You can't go hungry. It really doesn't even work like that. If you can sell something, if you can market stuff, that's it. That's basically all you need to do. All these other business models, every single service business model that you hear. I've heard SMMA, social media marketing agency, basically copywriting. Copywriting is just a better version of that. IPGA, info product growth agency, again, copywriting is just a better version of that. Growth operating, copywriting is just a better version. I'm going to show you how as we go on and how you can do it as well. So although it seems simple, it's something that works. So as you can see, Valley, 5.5K just that month. Benjamin, he's been with us for a long time. This guy's been my student for like over a year. He's at 12K for that month. Henry at 10K in March. He hired a copywriter. He just got a 7K win right here. I think he got a 2K win in that very same month as well. Another copywriter from Instagram, I didn't show his name here, but essentially he hit 12K a month last month with 3 clients. He's been copywriting for 6 months now, and he got there with the contents from YouTube. That's what he said. Isaiah with the 23K in a month. Ian said that 2 years ago he was doing Cash App affiliates for £5. Now I got to take my mom to Dubai and go to some of the nicest places in the world. And he has some videos and stuff there of his new lifestyle that he's attained. And he hit 10K a month at 16. 16 years old, he hit 10K a month now. And now he's 17, and the proof is here. And guys, I literally have more and more and more and more and more people who I could show, but that's in the Discord, which is free down below in the description. You can go check it out after this video. But dude, dudes are winning in there every single month. I literally post at the end of every single month, top copywriter wins for that month. So, after you're watching this video, once you start getting wins, make sure you go to the Discord and share your wins there so that everybody can celebrate you and champion you. And look, while all of that looks cool, right? These guys making 10K a month, these guys making 20K a month. Ask yourself this, just one really, really simple question. If this free course leads to me earning even 2K a month or 1K a month or 3K a month, would it be worth it? I mean, it's literally free. You're not paying for it. It's gonna be a couple hours to get through it. I mean, dude, 2K a month off internet money, working from home, I'll take it, bro. I don't know about you guys, but I'm taking that all day. So here are your action steps. You're gonna wanna take notes and listen actively. Make sure you're taking notes, pen in hand, paper out in front of you. This is important. Next is to ask all of the questions that you have in the comments. There are no stupid questions. Just go down there and ask. The comments in this video aren't just going to be dumb comments. They're all going to be comments that are constructive and essentially like a message board for everybody who has questions. If you have a question, someone else has probably already asked it. And if you don't see it there, make sure you ask the question, because it doesn't just help you, it helps everyone else who watches this video too. Next is to actually block out time and finish this course. Like I said, I highly recommend that you finish it in one sitting. If you cannot, you need to know when you can finish it. We're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it lighthearted. We're going to keep it efficient. So it's not ever going to be boring. So you can probably knock out or block out like 5-6 hours at least to watch this course. And now, without any further ado, you're going to write your first email with me. Now, if you are confused on why emails or copywriting emails, why would we start with there? Well, essentially, emails are like little bite-sized pieces of copy. As a complete beginner copywriter, that's usually what you want to start with, because they're simple, they're easy, and you don't necessarily want to just go straight for a sales page or something like that, because it's going to be more difficult for you because there's a whole bunch of room to mess up. Whereas if you finish an email, you can finish an email quickly. They're usually 200 to 300 words. They're bite-sized, like I said, and it's just easier to critique as well. I'd rather critique somebody's email than try to go through a whole sales page of copy or a video sales letter or something. And it's simple. But before we go through that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about email, and then we can start writing our very first email, and you can actually write it with me. What I recommend is you sit down and you watch me write it right in front of your eyes. You finish the rest of the course, and then of course you come back by using the timestamps. You come back to where the write your first email with me, and you actually write it with me in another tab, and you can go back and check, and then you go over to your document, and then you write some more, and you go back and check, and you learn, and you actually write it with me. The reason being is because when you're writing it with me, you're not gonna have that confusion feeling of, oh damn, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to do. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? So on and so forth. So why emails are money machines? Guys, check this out. Email remains a significantly more effective way to acquire customers than social media. Nearly 40 times that of Facebook and Twitter combined. So people who are marketing on Facebook, for example, or people who are marketing on Twitter, if they post something saying, buy my thing, they're not going to get many responses. They're not going to get many people who actually buy it. But if you are marketing through email, you have a 40 times better chance of actually getting more sales, or you're going to get 40 times the sales. These are stats. These are statistics straight from Google. Next, what is the highest ROI type of marketing, meaning the highest return on investment, meaning the most effective method of marketing? The first thing that comes up is email marketing. Not ads, not SEO, not direct mail, not online ads, not TV advertising, not PR, not magazines, and so on and so forth. As you can see, email is by far the biggest. Bro, you could go and Google this yourself. Don't even take my word for it. Email marketing. The marketing channels that produce the highest ROI are search, paid, and email. How much did Morning Brew sell for? So if you don't know, Morning Brew is simply an email list, meaning a collection of email addresses. This collection of email addresses was started from some dude in his dorm room. All he would say is, hey, I have an investing newsletter. All you have to do is go to this page, put in your email, put in your name, and I'm going to send you emails on a daily basis. And he did this for years. And he was actually able to sell just the collection of emails for $75 million. Because if he puts out a link in one of those emails to go and buy something, that's going out to hundreds of thousands of people who are already pre-qualified. He knows that those people actually want to hear about investing. A very easy way that this man actually made 75 mil just from selling his email list. Of course, this is not super relevant to what we're doing with copywriting, but of course it proves that emails are money machines. And there's two reasons why this is a huge opportunity for you, especially with email copywriting. One is the exponential growth of online education. Guys, online education is booming right now. And especially when you compare it to traditional education where you have to go to school and pay 30 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand just to get a piece of paper saying that you went through some stuff, where people online are selling online info products that not only help you do things to make money, but also just help you in your life day to day. There are men's coaching that shows you, whatever, how to get girls or how to be a better man or how to increase your value or become high value. There are ones of how to make money online. There are ones to just do random hobbies. There are ones to just be a mechanic. Like literally there are so much different things that you can learn online. And of course, us as copywriters are able to get a huge piece of that because we're able to help these people make more money themselves. And we don't have to be the people who actually create the products. We can just be the people who help sell the products, which is why it's such a quicker path to wealth than creating a course or selling a course or selling your own online education product. Next is learning copywriting and email marketing opens the door for you to learn other high income skills. Guys, copywriting is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different skills that you can learn once you understand copywriting. You understand all of marketing. You understand funnel creation. You understand sales funnels, and you understand marketing just as a whole. And being able to get those and understand those, dude, you're going to be a highly versatile freelancer. So simple Google search again. How much money is now in the online education industry? Well, the online education market worldwide is projected to grow by 8.56% from 2024 to 2029, resulting in a market volume of $279 billion in 2029. Bro, the demand is nuts. It's nuts. 279 billion is a number I can't even wrap my head around. So as you can see here, copywriting is literally just the tip of the iceberg, and business is really just a combination of sales and marketing. That's it. Business is just sales and marketing. How do you think that I learned how to create a business, how I learned how to create a successful YouTube channel, and all of these other things? It's because I started with copywriting. I had no idea how to do any of that stuff. Email marketing, funnel creation, social media marketing, media buying, ads is all other things that you can learn once you understand the simple skill of copywriting, which you're going to master. But first, let's address the elephants in the room, because obviously it's not all good. What's the catch? Tyson, will copywriting get replaced by AI? This is a good question. It genuinely is a good question. And you've probably heard of it before. Oh, this is going to get replaced by AI and that's going to get replaced by AI. Here's the thing. AI is only as powerful as its user. Saying AI is going to replace copywriting is like saying that calculators are going to replace mathematicians. Calculators are a tool for mathematicians, just like AI is a tool for copywriters. And here's the other thing, is that the things that I'm going to be teaching you in this video right here are also going to help you become AI proof. Because AI, sure, maybe it can write you an email. Maybe if you prompt it awesomely, it can write you a good email. But AI will never be able to actually create the marketing systems and have the whole marketing message and the marketing strategy behind a business and a brand. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do here in this video. Why don't business owners just write the copy themselves? Well, why don't business owners just edit their own videos? Why don't they just do their own sales calls? I mean, there are so many different things in a business that business owners just cannot do. They hire out everything. If you actually watch business owner content, it's ridiculous. It's like they outsource absolutely everything they do. They schedule everything down to dating their girlfriend. They know exactly where they're going at what time and what they're going to do and what time they're going to get back and everything else in between. Like these people are highly, highly efficient. They buy back their time all the time. And with copywriting, you're actually able to trackably make tens of thousands of dollars every single month for your clients. I'm going to show you exactly how I've been able to do that too. So I've literally made my clients tens of thousands of dollars per month. Is it smart to pay somebody three grand a month if they're going to make you tens of thousands of dollars every single month? Why wouldn't the business just hire someone for $4 an hour from overseas? This is a really good question as well. And the answer is that, bro, they don't want this to be done poorly. That's the last thing that they want, because people who you can charge $4 an hour, they probably don't speak English that well, and they also probably don't care that much about their job, so it's not going to be done well. This is the other thing, is that copywriting is extremely important to a business, and if you mess it up, or if you're just really bad at it, or just don't care enough to try, dude, it's going to hurt your business more than it helps your business. Which is why the last thing I would do personally is hire somebody for $4 an hour. I want to pay people $2 grand, $3 grand, $4 grand a month, because it makes sure that they do a good job. Next is people saying, but Tyson, I've never bought anything from email before. My friends, step out of your own shoes. I just showed you the numbers. I just showed you the statistics. I just showed you the facts. There's undoubtedly so much money inside of email that it's just insane. And while you might not have bought anything from email before, you've most likely signed up your email to an email list and you get messages from people who are marketing to you. While you might not be one of those buyers, you're one of the people who actually sees it. And here's the funny thing, is that just by you seeing a brand over and over and over again, it's going to be what is called top of mind. And while you might not buy from that link in the email, chances are you might have bought possibly just because you've been seeing it all the time in your email. This is exactly why McDonald's has one of the biggest marketing budgets, even though everybody already knows what McDonald's is. It's because when you're driving down the street and you see a big McDonald's billboard, you might think, I am kind of hungry for something. Maybe I should have McDonald's. And now look, you in your mind aren't saying, man, I bought because of that McDonald's billboard. You're saying, I was hungry, I saw McDonald's, and I just figured, you know what, I'm going to buy it anyways. I'm going to have it. And that's the exact same thing that we're doing with email. It's called being top of mind. It's adding touch points. We're going to talk about marketing as we go on, but I just had to throw that in there. Here are some practical examples of how copywriting actually works. So as you can see, this is the big man, Alex Hormozi. You might know him. He has 2.6 million followers, and he's one of the biggest marketing brands that there is, one of the biggest marketing personal brands. So as you can see here, he has tons and tons of followers, tons of people who see his content. They are viewers. It's called top of funnel. These are the people who know who he is. Next, he might put up a promotional post. And in the post, you can see he is promoting his book. Now, he did a whole huge social media campaign of getting people to actually go to his book release. It was a free book release where he gives value, he gives a whole presentation, and you can sit there on the live and watch it. Now, he would send out emails like this: Mosey Nation, 24 hours from now, and then he gives some more stats. One cookbook for making money will be yours, and other special surprises. And here's what we'll be covering the new $100 million Leads book launch. And he gives some bullets on what he'll be covering. Again, these bullets are actually making the live stream look better, look like you have more benefits and more of a big promise to actually go and show up, plus much more. See you tomorrow. Here's the final countdown. Click here. I will start on time, so be there 12 minutes early, blah, blah, blah. So the reason as to why he's doing this is, of course, he's adding hype to the live stream. And the more people who come to the live stream are going to see his pitch and are going to eventually buy. That is what copywriting is about. Copywriting isn't always about writing to make people buy. It's also writing to make people take the next step in the funnel. Meaning that if somebody knows of someone, right, they know kind of what they do, they kind of know what they're doing. The thing with copywriting is that it helps people get more familiarized with the brand. Once they get more and more and more familiarized with the brand, they get more and more familiarized with the product. They get more familiarized with the product, they get closer to buying said product. And that's how it works. So this is after you registered. You registered for the book launch. Congratulations. I've spent the last 2 years stockpiling free money-making goodies, and I'm giving them away at this live event. 230,000 plus people. Here's your link. And as you can see right there. So the better the copy is, the more people are going to show up to the event. The more people who show up to the event, the more people are going to buy his book. The more people who buy his book for whatever it is, $20 or whatever, let's just say, the more people who are eventually going to work with him, right? If you don't know, he essentially has a business where he will take your $1 million business, he will take equity out of it and help you grow it. So 6-figure, 7-figure deals, meaning hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars eventually that he can get from the people who are actually qualified and own $1 million businesses. So note, the book itself has QR codes and links to apply for Alex's company so that he can acquire $1 million businesses. Again, that's basically the long story short. So here's an actual demonstration of exactly how copywriting works, okay? We're gonna go in it even more so that you understand the exact step-by-step process and what it looks like. So here is the base example. Let's just say, right, he has 2.6 million followers. So 1 million people watch the content, okay? Or they see that he's doing something. 100 people sign up to the emails, okay? So 100 people sign up to the emails to get into the event. 10,000 people open the emails to get into the event, which is like a 10% open rate. 1,000 people actually go ahead and buy the book. And then let's say 10 people pay $300,000 to work with Alex. Alex paid $3 million from his book launch. Now, this is example number 1. So as you can see, there are a bunch of steps here that really have to do with the copywriting. So if we improve the copywriting, we can get more people to open and then more people to actually buy the book. And if we improve the copywriting on his actual page here, we can get more people to actually sign up with their emails. And of course, the more people we can get inside the funnel and through the funnel, the more people we can get to actually buy. So let's go through the next example here. So this is the increased conversion example. So 1 million people watch his content, just like before. 100,000 people sign up to his emails, just like before. But now instead of 10,000 people opening his email, it's 15,000 because he has a better subject line. And now, because the emails are better, because he has a better subject line, more people opening, instead of just 1,000 people buying his book, he has double 2,000 people buying his book. And now 25 people pay $300,000 to work with Alex because more people read the book. Now Alex made $7.5 million from his book launch. So Alex made $4.5 million more simply because of better copywriting in this scenario. Now, these are just examples. This is just a scenario, but hopefully you're starting to wrap your head around how powerful this copywriting thing can really be. So here's some stuff from my actual own experience. So this is me actually outreaching to a client. This is exactly what I said to actually get him as a client. This is important. I could have access to some people who could be the right fit for you if you were looking to go that route. So we're essentially talking about where we're going to take his business in the future. Then he says 150%. I was looking to go that route and also with what you're offering. So just so you understand, the goal is to do $1 million for the next mastermind I have planned at the end of February next year. The tickets are going to be anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 per person for this real estate investing mastermind, which means if we could sell around 125 to 150 seats, which I think is extremely doable if we have the right machine in place. And then I was sending out emails for his brand. He said, your last email, fire. And I said, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And then he says, bro, I just knew it. Your email was sent out and I got mad responses for people wanting to sign up for his $7,000 to $10,000 mastermind. Now, we ended up making the price 10 grand. Imagine me just doing a couple sales a month for his mastermind, how much money I'm making him. I have some examples here. I work 10 to 15 hours per week as a copywriter, and I get 4K a month, let's say, which is $48,000 per year. That's what I would earn as a copywriter. And he gets, let's say 20 sales a year, which is not very much. That's like less than 2 sales to his high ticket mastermind every single month from email. That makes $200,000 for him. So he paid me 48 grand, but he's making $200,000. But then we have also other examples from copywriters who have done it in the 4D community. This guy said he just got an update from the payments on a sales funnel that he created. He increased conversions and back-end sales. And as you can see there, he actually made his client 40K in the last 4 weeks. Where last 4 weeks, he only made 10K. And he also said that he just checked in with a client and he told him that he made over $155,000. And now he's just waiting for his payment to come in. As you can see, my sales increased by 30 to 35%. Our total revenue is 155K. The work you do is amazing, brother. Thank you so much. The next project will be in contact. So this is how people are making real big, serious money with copywriting, and we're actually able to do it because we make real big, serious money for the creators themselves. And that is, my friends, how copywriting works in a nutshell. So here's a pro tip for you. And this is a tweet that I posted. You can be skeptical and open-minded. It just means you need to see proof to believe. Gullible is when you believe things without proof. Closed-minded is when even proof can't change your mind. Like most things, the right answer is in the middle. And the reason why I put that is because if you're sitting here and you're thinking, man, this looks good. This looks really good. Man, I went through over the elephants in the room. I went over some of the other people who are winning with this. Dude, email copywriting is a serious a serious opportunity. And I didn't even get into all the other forms of copywriting and marketing that we're going to be learning. Needless to say, the proof is here. Proof is in the pudding. It's literally undeniable. It's literally screenshots from Google. It's students still actually out here making money. There's opportunity for you. There's opportunity for all the other students. And if you're looking for something to actually make money with while being at home, working your own hours and being able to earn money from anywhere in the world, dude, this is for you. Now, my friends, we are going to write our very first email together. The writing process is simple. You compile content from the creator. You create ideas from that content. You structure it. All copywriting is structured. And then you write it and you polish it. And then it's done. That's basically it. Copywriting isn't writing as the name suggests. It is simply just synthesizing. You're putting all the content into an email format. And that's essentially it. It's all just essentially pretty much templatized. You're going to understand that and learn that as we go through this and as you actually watch me write an email from scratch, and I will actually help you step by step write your very first email. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? I am back. I am black. I am ready to attack. And let's hop right into the course yet again. Guys, if you're getting value so far, be a boss and share the sauce. So if you are getting value so far, a free way to support the channel and make sure I make more videos just like this one and more free courses, you're going to want to go ahead and take a picture or a screenshot of the video right now, put it on your Instagram story and tag me. If you do that, I will repost as many as I can on my own story. And like I said, it's a free way to support the channel. So without any further ado, let's hop right into writing your first email with me. And of course, the process is compile, ideate, structure, and polish. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you guys how to do. Now, this document you see right here before you is, of course, going to be added into the copy starter kit, and it's going to be in there so you can find it. So here's what it looks like. The steps: compile, ideate, structure, and polish. So here's what the timeline should look like. So 25 minutes to compile things, 5 minutes to ideate, doesn't take long, 15 minutes to structure out your email, doesn't take long, and then 15 minutes to polish your email. And after you compiled and you've made up a bunch of ideas, those are two things that you don't usually need to do every single time that you write an email. So then your next email should take 30 minutes to write. Your next email should take 30 minutes to write, but maybe an hour to write your first email. Now, when you're beginning, it's going to probably take longer than this, depending on how critical you're being with yourself. But the best way to do this is to not focus on perfectionism, but rather just focus on reps. Get your reps in, get them reviewed. They're going to suck. Give yourself permission to suck, but also give yourself permission to learn and be better. And also, guys, don't put your ego into the copywriting. Guys, once the words are on the page, it's just words on a page. When people come through and they critique them and they're harsh with you, thank them, because they should be harsh with you and you should be harsh with other people. Obviously not mean just to hurt their feelings, but you need to tell them exactly where they're messing up and where they can get better. Then you put a potential client. So here I have an example for you guys. You guys can use this example right here. I'll probably put more examples here as well on some other people that you can write about in this specific way. Compile. So this is essentially where we put together a whole bunch of things that we get from their videos. So common sayings that they might have, angles that you might have thought of or got from them, hooks, meaning the beginnings of their videos. How do they hook people in? We can use that in our copy as well. What is their offer? Meaning what's the thing that they're selling on the back end? Why what most people teach is inferior. So, with every creator, they're going to mention things that other people are doing and why it's not as optimal. If someone is telling you that they are a fitness person and they'll teach you how to make muscle, that's cool, but you have different types of people out there. Let's say you have a guy like Jeff Nippard. He's super into science. He's super fact-based. He doesn't say anything without citing a bunch of studies and sources and all these other things. He would be like, most people teach just bro science. They teach, you need to go to the gym, bro. You need to go to failure on every set, and you need to have your protein. You need to have it within your anabolic window and all this other garbage and crap that's literally just like old wives' tales. They're fairy tales, they're myths, they're not actually real. And what he teaches, he would say, what I teach is superior because I know how to actually study, how to cite my sources, how to read through all the other studies that have been done before. And that's where I get my conclusions from. It's science-based training. So that's just a little example for you guys and how you can use it in your copy. Next is any stories that they come up with. Stories are very broad because people will have stories about how they came across what they know or what problems they had before. And the main thing that you want to keep with your stories is the belief shift, identifying with the people who are listening to it and also shifting their beliefs. And also I have a little AI prompt here for you guys at the bottom too. It says, distill this YouTube video into a few paragraphs. So let me show you exactly how I use this. So we're going to go to our example right here. We're going to go to his Instagram. As you can see in his bio, he has a YouTube channel. So you go right here to YouTube. I'm just gonna go look at his most popular video. So bam, right there, most popular video. And then I'm going to scroll down click on more, and I'm going to click on show transcript. Now it's going to give me the whole transcript of the video, every single word that he says. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste it into ChatGPT. And I'm going to do that for a few videos. And when I do this, all I'm doing is programming ChatGPT, okay? And this is how you use AI. We're going to go way in depth on AI later on in the course after we talk about, the basics of copywriting and how to make emails and landing pages and VSLs and so on and so forth. You essentially program it by saying, these are a bunch of this dude's videos. This is how he talks. These are the things that he says. Now, what I would like you to do is you can ask it to create you some angles, to justify some things, tell you some stories, and get a whole bunch of content. We're going to go really deep into ChatGPT and how to use it, but I just thought I would leave this here so you guys can have it for later. So distill this video into a few paragraphs. Tell me the most important points covered. This is how you can learn about what the video said without having to watch through the whole 17 minutes of it. So that's going to take you like 30 seconds instead of 17 minutes. Then I want you to tell me if there are any common phrases that are used. Tell me if there's anything that's said that seems like it's a core message. I also want you to tell me if there are any stories in this video. If so, describe the story, what happened, and how the characters in the story felt. Then I tell it also, tell me if there are any points in this video where the speaker heavily relates to the audience and proves that he knows exactly what the audience is going through and what they might think and why they might think it. So that's my AI prompt to essentially give you the best chances of getting all of these in the shortest amount of time. Guys, when it comes to copywriting, you're going to learn that at first it's about learning. It's about getting good at your skill, but you start to realize that it really comes down to efficiency. Efficiency is simply the relationship between what you get versus what you put in. So if you put in a lot of work and a lot of time and you don't get much out, then that's inefficient. And that's going to essentially waste time. It's going to take extra time for you to get to that 5K a month, 10K a month with copywriting. So essentially what we want to do is make it as efficient as possible. And this is what this does. Okay. And I'm going to show you some other ways how to do that, not just with copywriting, but also with outreach and basically everything else. It's all about efficiency. Take a look at this example here. So I'm using the same potential client. Let's go check it out. So this potential client, his name is Hamza Ali. He goes by Hamza Invest, 153K followers. So he has lots of followers. As you can see, his reels have pretty decent views as well. 30K, 30K, 45K, 49K, and so on and so forth. Now, his bio says he's founder of the Flex Space Network. Flex Space investor and developer, AMG collector, your journey in office warehouses starts here. So the reason why I chose this dude is because I also wanted to challenge myself. I don't know the first thing about real estate. I'm really into stocks. I'm really into crypto. Of course, I love copywriting and marketing and business, but real estate is something that's completely French to me. And I have no idea what a flex space is or some of the other things that he's talking about in these videos. So essentially all I did was just watch his stuff. All I did was watch a whole bunch of his stuff. I compiled it inside of that document, and now I know exactly what he does. Flex space is essentially an office warehouse. And these office warehouses are rented out to professionals, as maybe it's an office, maybe it's a warehouse, maybe it's a retail store, maybe it's a restaurant. It could be a whole number of things. I'm not going to spend too much time on him specifically, but I want to just show you exactly how I did it. So how do people get on this list? This is super important as well, is to understand how people get on his list, because some people are going to get on his list from like this. This is a newsletter, and this matters because when it's a newsletter, people are opting in because they want to hear what he has to say, and they want to be entertained, and they want to be kept up to date, and they want value. So that's what you have to give them. If people give you their email for a free lead magnet, which we'll talk about later when we talk about sales funnels and things, but that's something completely different. And then there are people who come onto the list because they have bought before. Those are three different type of people, and there's three different reasons as to why they are on the list. There's also just some people have different lead magnets for different businesses and they have different offers. But again, we're going to talk about that more when we get into sales pages and sales funnels. But this is also something that's important to know. How do people actually get on the list? Why are they on the list? What do they expect? So because they want to hear more exclusive insights into FlexSpace. That's basically it. So here's the compile. This reel right here, I'm going to actually play it through and watch it really quickly, but it should give you guys a really good understanding of what I mean by saying these things. So let's check it out. So his first line is, if you're done with the problems of residential real estate.
You're done with the problems, you're done with the problematic tenants, you're done with maintenance calls that are telling you to clean up clogged toilets and do that stuff. I get it. You want to get started in commercial real estate. You want something that's low barrier to entry, something where you can get the tax benefits that you can't get in residential real estate.
So he's literally just filling out my form for me. He's filling out my sheet for me. He's telling me, why is residential real estate, what everybody else is teaching, inferior? Well, because it's super hands-on. You got to do all this BS. You want to get into commercial real estate because that's where the real tax benefits are. It's low barrier to entry, it's high demand, it's resilience, you get easy leasing, and so on and so forth. So I just want to play a couple seconds of that to show you how easy it actually is to fill this out just by watching a few videos of theirs. Anyways, I basically just compiled a whole bunch of stuff here. I copied and pasted some of his Instagram captions. I kind of taught myself a little bit about what a flex space is and a little bit about real estate. Copied down some of his hooks, copied down some of his common sayings, came up with some angles, understood the offer and what it is. I also came up with some stories and listened to some stories. Again, guys, you guys can have access to this very document that I'm looking through right now. So if you want to go through it in more detail, you can. That's the same AI prompt. And there's also examples from email templates inside the free copy starter kit. This email in here and also other templates that are basically just fill in the blank. They're variables that you can fill in. So instead of saying there's a few reasons why people are interested in getting in real estate, you can say there are a few reasons why people are interested in either losing weight or building muscle or making money online or anything, or a specific way to make money online or a specific way to lose weight. Maybe it's the keto diet. Maybe it's calisthenics training if they're trying to get bigger. So there are tons of possibilities with these, and you have to steal the ideas. Steal the ideas and not necessarily think about stealing the words. And this is a huge copywriting hack that you can use. So let's go through it. Why I sold my residential properties, and after hearing this, you might too. So essentially, it's pretty straightforward. The reason as to why I did this surprising thing and why you might want to as well, or why residential real estate isn't the best. So we're going to go through it. There's a few reasons people are interested in getting in real estate: freedom, passive income, insane tax benefits. This is literally just where I'm relating to the reader. But I soon came to realize real estate provides almost none of those things. And like, this is the big challenge and intrigue. Because you're thinking, oh my God, Hamza is saying that real estate doesn't provide any of those awesome things. Let me read on more to see why he's saying this. At least if you follow how everyone else does it, or how everyone else teaches it. Why the standard way is inferior. But there is a method that does work better than any other form of real estate investing. And it doesn't come with the headaches of traditional real estate methods. And then I talk about more of the reasons why it's inferior. It doesn't come with the traditional headaches. No phone calls at 2 a.m. to fix broken toilets, tenants avoiding paying rent and coming up with the most wild excuses you can imagine, and the constant stress of always trying to find more good residential real estate deals. This is why I sold all my residential properties. The return on time and capital I was looking for just wasn't there. So I tried something new, and instantly it was like a breath of fresh air. A simple property with professional tenants and minimum upfront investment cost. These are office warehouses that I call flex spaces. And while I was more than skeptical at first, right away it was a night and day difference. And it was only then that I realized, why be a property manager when you can be a real estate investor? And ever since then, not only have I been investing in flex spaces like crazy, but I've also helped others do the same and make over 7 figures per development. And if you want to learn how, click here to join the Flex Space network. The economy is shifting rapidly, and there's only one thing I can say for sure, and that is I'm so glad that I went all in on flex spaces while there's still so much opportunity. Because come in a few years from now, who knows? It probably won't be as accessible to beginners as it is now. So do yourself a favor and don't wait till later. And then you just sign off. That's all for now, Hamza. And that's exactly what that looks like. I could go through line by line and the specific reasons why I put everything, but you should be able to kind of see exactly what I did. We literally just looked at a reel where he was talking about phone calls at 2 a.m. where we're fixing broken toilets. And this is, again, just going through and relating to the common problem. And then there's only a few points that you might not have been able to pick up. So usually when you tell these stories, you're going to want a main lesson at the end. A main lesson, why you're telling people a story, what's the bottom line, and what do they need to take from it. And also another thing to add is that I'm talking about why he's convinced. One really common problem that copywriters run into is they keep trying to convince people, you need to get into flex spaces. You need to get into this before the opportunity is too late. Whereas what's more effective than that is showing people why you're convinced. I'm so glad that I got into this while the opportunity was there, because there have been so many other opportunities that I've just watched pass me by, or watched other people make money with while I was sitting there on the sidelines, kicking myself, just saying, man, if only I were to take that small risk and get in there, I would be reaping the rewards right now. And luckily, I was able to get in on flex spaces and the opportunity is still there, but maybe not forever. So what does that tell them? That tells them that number one, you're convinced and you're showing them why you're convinced and telling them why. And also it gives urgency and scarcity. This is called situational urgency. I'll get into it a little bit more as we go on, but guys, this is what an email looks like. This is how everything works together. This is how it flows. This is the structure. So the structure here is problem. And then I give a little bit of what's in it for me. We're going to learn again, this as we go on, but I talk about the problem a little bit. I tell them what I'm going to show them or how I'm going to help them in this email. I go deeper on the problem, and then I talk about what the solution is. And also notice how I'm being intriguing and I'm not giving people the answers right away. That's why I sold on my residential properties. The return on time and capital I was looking for just wasn't there. So I tried something new. When I say something like I tried something new and it was an instant breath of fresh air, it sounds like I'm going to say whatever the thing is in the next sentence, but I don't say it all the way until a couple lines later. I talk about what it is. I talk about my experience with it. I talk about why it's awesome, and then I reveal it. Whereas some people do it backwards. They reveal what it is, and then they talk about how good it is. So we're gonna look at a lot more examples, and I'm gonna show you exactly how that works. But when you're writing copy, you're going to realize that it sounds like a friend talking to a friend, but you are not writing it as if it was a English exam, or you're writing an exam or an English paper in MLA format or something. It's not a supernatural way of writing, but this is the most intriguing way to write by far. So everybody, congratulations. You have now written your very first email with me. What I do strongly suggest is that you take everything that I said right here and you make sure that you bookmark it for later. At the end of this video, when you reach the very end, you're going to want to come back and just look at everything that I'm doing here, okay? And make sure you download all of these and you use them to your advantage. So now we're going to go over the fundamentals of copywriting. Now we're going to break it down into more of a formula. The rules and the fundamentals of copywriting. These are the rules of thumb that apply to all forms and mediums of copywriting that you're going to want to keep in mind, okay? So this is something that you're probably going to want to break out your notes for. So here's the 4-part fundamental copy formula. Here's what every piece of copy necessarily pretty much does. Attention, consumption, persuade, and action. So attention. In order to deliver your message, you first have to get past the brain's quote unquote spam filter. Okay, this is what I call it. Then consume. In order for your copy to have an effective message, it must be consumable and intriguing. There must be a reason for them to actually look at it, and it must be easy for them to read through it. Next is to persuade. Shifting people's beliefs in your favor is how you're able to sell to them over time. Next is action. Most pieces of copy end with an effective call to action, and that's basically it. So how do we capture attention and get past the brain's natural spam filter? Some things we have to understand. So the inner spam filter explained. In order to have a chance at bringing the reader into a selling state of mind, you need to make them read first. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how good your email is, your sales page, or whatever piece of copy it is. If it doesn't hook the reader in and grab their attention at the beginning, then it doesn't matter. This is why people spend so much time on a headline on a sales page or the hook in their ads, is because the beginning is what matters the most. If you hear Mr. Beast talking about making YouTube videos, or you hear a popular businessman talk about creating ads or something, for example, they always talk about how on YouTube, it comes down to the research of the title and the thumbnail in the first 10 seconds. Those are the most important part of the whole video. That's what they spend half the time, if not more on. In the same with people's ads, in the same with people's sales pages.
The thing people undervalue the most is literally the first 10 seconds of the video. Like, yeah. I think I can quote it. I tied up an FBI agent and I have $100,000 in this bag. Here's a knife. Good luck. And I just run away. Yeah. Like, it gives you everything you need. Yeah. No wasted words, short and concise, and then tension.
So it's really that important to get people's attention right off the bat. So what actually gets past this filters? This is where you're going to learn effective techniques to get people's attention, and then how to write filter infiltration copy, how to implement filter infiltration methods into your copy and use them to your advantage. So this is exactly what it looks like. Guys, people are shown so many advertisements, so many messages every single day, and they ignore the vast majority of them. But only some of them get people's attention. And that is what we're going to focus on here. So here's an exercise. A really, really easy way to help you conceptualize this is to look at other really good hooks. And a great place to go for hooks and to really break down why they just grab your attention is Reddit. If you go to any Reddit and just look at the top posts for this year or the top posts ever, you're going to see some stuff that infiltrates your brain filter. So I'm going to read some of the titles and you guys tell me which ones you think you have to look at and open and read it to understand. So I've never found a black woman attractive, but I think you're beautiful in quotation marks. I let the woman start the conversations in online dating, and these are the results. I'd like to see that. My son was diagnosed with something far worse than cancer. You see how it intrigues you there? She doesn't tell you what it is. She tells you what it's worse than. So now you're wondering, oh damn, I wonder what's worse than that. Don't Google yourself. Horror story. Intriguing. Why shouldn't I Google myself? What's the horror story? What did this person find? My son's teacher has been giving some strange homework. Strange homework. What do they mean by that? So while sure, this might not be business copywriting, you can see exactly why they're actually grabbing your attention and how they do it. So how to write copy that grabs the reader by the eyeballs. Pro tip. The best way to get your message heard is to decrease the effort required to consume and then increase the intrigue. This relationship is what makes all of the difference. When you start out your copy, it's important to be easily understandable. It's important to write lean. Lean just means without any fluff, without any fat. You want it to be short, punchy, to the point. You want it to grab somebody's attention. And when you do that and also add a bunch of intrigue, this is what makes your message read. But let's look at the opposite. Let's say it's a super long intro and you're not really getting to the point until later, and it's not really that interesting or intriguing. Nobody's going to read it. So what are the 3 parts of grabbing people's attention? What's the formula? So first of all, make a promise which is not spammy. What is the reader going to get out of this? Avoiding pain can be the benefit too. So the thing with making promises, whether it be especially in email, but also in ads and on landing pages, is that if you're putting like, here's how to make $10,000 and then $$, in the next 20 days, like that looks like spam. So the Gmail spam filters, Gmail automatically filters the things that it thinks are spam. And when you use spammy words, you're going to end up in the spam folder. Essentially, this means that all the emails you're sending out for your clients, instead of getting a really good open rate, like 25% or 30% of the people you send to actually open, they're not going to see it because it's going to be in their spam folder. So now only about 5% or less people are going to see it. So you want to make sure that you have promises that are not spammy. This is also important for things like ads. Facebook or Meta lets you run ads on their website, but it's extremely difficult to be compliant. That's what they call it, compliant. Because if anything looks like a spam, even a little bit, they're going to shut down your ad account and then you're not going to be able to run any ads anymore. Next is intrigue, non-confusing. It's important to intrigue people, make it simple, concise, and non-confusing. Something to make the reader curious, they don't understand, but wants to. They want to know what it is. They don't know what it is, but they want to know what it is. You're giving them some hints, but you still can't guess it. And this is a really important part with intrigue, is that imagine that you say to somebody, well, guess what we're going to eat today? And then they make a bunch of guesses and you're like, nope, it's not that. And they're like, oh, damn, can you give me a hint? And you say, yeah, it starts with an M. And they're like, M, McDonald's. No, damn, what is it? And now they're really interested. They're really invested because they feel like they should know this. They really, really want to know this. And everything that they think it's going to be, it's not. So that makes them want to know even more. And then next, of course, is emotional, but not clickbait. So high tension moments that makes you want to know what happens next. And it's supposed to be something that's like dramatic, like a soap opera or like Love Island or something where, oh my God, this girl's boyfriend just cheated on her and they're keeping a secret. And then she found out in episode 6. There's a reason why half of Netflix is just filled up with some weird Love Island type of reality TV, is because it's emotional, it's dramatic. Let's go deeper onto each of them. First of all, promise, but non-spammy. Grabbing attention. When you're writing something to get people's attention, you want it to be exciting and interesting. Imagine you're telling your friends about a new video game. You wouldn't just say, it's fun. You might say, this is the coolest game ever. You can fly around and fight dragons. So you're giving them more details. You're like, damn, that's cool. Giving a big promise. In copywriting, giving a big promise means telling people something amazing that they will get if they read more. It's like saying, if you play this game, you'll have so much fun, you won't want to put it down. A promise needs to be exciting and make people curious. Now we talk about the promise and how it cannot be spammy. So not being spammy. Spammy is when you're being too over the top with your messaging and your claims sound fake. This is super important too. Instead, be honest like you're talking to a friend. So you wouldn't say, here's how to literally pack on muscle and look like you're Jack and be accused of using steroids in 25 days without lifting any weights. It's like, that sounds like BS. Next is to be compliant with platforms. Platforms are places where you share your writing, like Facebook or Gmail. They have rules to make sure everyone is safe and happy. Being compliant means following these rules and not making fake promises or saying things that aren't true. It's like playing a game by the rules so everyone can have fun. And to put it all together, when you write, you want to grab attention by start with something exciting. Hey, I want to know how to get super good at video games? Next is to give a big promise. Tell them what they will get. I'll show you the tricks to beat every level fast. Next is to not be spammy, being nice and honest. These tricks really helped me, and I think they'll help you too. And that goes with making sure that You are showing why you're convinced rather than convincing other people. Next is to be compliant. Follow the rules. It still takes effort, but the payoff is worth it. Okay, so next we're talking about being intriguing, but also non-confusing. So intriguing. You want to make people curious and excited to read more. By being intriguing is like telling the beginning of a really good story. You give them just enough to get them interested so that they want to find out what happens next. Okay, but how do we avoid confusion? Avoiding confusion means making sure your writing is clear and easy to understand. If people get confused, they stop reading because it's too hard to follow. It's like telling a story to your friends. If you keep jumping around or using words they don't understand, they'll lose interest. Another point that's super extremely important when it comes to copywriting is that you don't want to use over technical jargon. You don't want to make it sound fancy, even if you're talking to business owners, okay? Even if you're talking to really smart people. You want to know why? Because an easy to digest and understand message is going to help you reach the people who aren't good readers. And to the people who are good readers, it's going to help them understand even better. So it's literally a win-win. So making the reader crave what's next. You want the reader to be eager to find out more. Just like when you watch an exciting movie and you can't wait to see what happens next. This keeps them reading and interested in what they have to say. And guys, like this is what intrigue is. Intrigue is like an itch. It's like imagine being extremely itchy on your back and you just have to scratch it. There's no other way. Or it's like really, really needing to use the washroom. Like it doesn't matter where you're going, where you're driving, you're gonna pull over and you're going to use the washroom. You just need to, you crave it. And you want people to crave reading your intrigue or crave reading your emails or your copy just like that. So how to do it? Well, you start with the hook. Begin with something that grabs their attention. Next, you keep it clear, make sure the sentence makes sense and everyone follows the one before it. So for example, imagine doubling your Instagram followers in just 4 months without spending a dime. Here's how I did it. Then you want to keep it clear. First, you need to understand the power of engaging content. But it's not just any content. We're going to talk about this a little bit as we go on, but this is a belief shift. First, you need to understand the power of engaging content. But it's not just any content. Add a little mystery. This is where you give them hints, but you don't reveal anything. This is a very, very powerful point of copywriting. There's a special type of post that gets me 7 to 10 times more engagement than regular posts. And then you build up slowly. Make sure the story builds to the next step so they stay curious. And no, it's not posting reels, carousels, or single photos. And now you're sitting there like, it gets 7 to 10 times more engagement than regular things, but it's not all of the things that I thought it was going to be. What on earth type of content is this? Then you end with the tease. Finish with the hint of what's next. It works by combining all of those content types into one. If you want to know what it is, how I used it to double my following in 4 months, then click here. Awesome. So putting it all together, what does it really look like? So to be intriguing, start with something that makes them curious. Avoid confusion, make sure it's clear and easy to follow, make them crave what's next, and keep them wanting more. So in simple words, write like you're sharing an exciting and easy to follow plan that keeps your friends curious and eager to learn the next step. And next is to be emotional while avoiding clickbait. So incorporating emotion. Emotion in writing means creating a sense of urgency, excitement, or surprise. It grabs attention by making people curious about what's happening and eager to find out more. So why is it important? Using emotion can make your message more compelling and memorable. It keeps readers on the edge of their seats and makes them want to keep reading. But it's important to be truthful and deliver real value and avoid misleading your readers, okay? So clickbait is essentially when a YouTube video says, yo, here's how to make $1 million. And then you open up the YouTube video and he's like, just kidding, I'm not actually gonna show you how to make $1 million. I just kind of wanted to talk about my day. That's clickbait, is when the subject line of the email doesn't match what's inside the email, or the thumbnail on a YouTube video doesn't at all match what's actually in the YouTube video at all. And it throws you for a loop, and it basically makes you feel cheated. There's no actual value in there. But however, something that's dramatic and emotional might be pretty much clickbait, but if you give actual value in it and you tie it into what the title is and make it actually related, this is a way that it has the effectiveness of clickbait, but it's not actual clickbait because you're getting value. And you won't be sad or mad or feel cheated because you're actually getting the thing that you signed up for. This is another important lesson to do with copywriting, is find out what would actually make people click and surprise them enough to click. And then how can you make the value, how can you understand how to write it related to that point? So how do we actually do it? So we can start with a dramatic hook. Begin with something surprising and shocking. So this is one I've actually used before in the past. I'm quitting copywriting and starting dropshipping. Here's why. Build suspense. Make the reader wonder what's going to happen next. After years of copywriting, I've heard beginners state over and over again that they're quitting to go start some new shiny business like dropshipping. And then you reveal the twist. Provide the unexpected tie into your attention-grabbing dramatic first line. Even I thought of quitting copywriting so many times, but I'm glad that I didn't. Here's how to succeed even if you feel stuck. So the angle here is, I'm not saying that I'm quitting copywriting, but everyone else, I've heard it so many times, I'm quitting copywriting and starting dropshipping. And then of course they start dropshipping and they're like, nah, dropshipping wasn't for me. I'm going to start an agency. And then they start something else and start something else and start something else and they don't get anywhere. That's the actual angle. Whereas I understand what I'm doing with the hook. I'm making people think that maybe they're assuming that I'm talking about me, but I purposely put it in quotation marks, which they probably would have missed. So how to avoid clickbait? Clickbait uses tons of drama with no actual tie-in and doesn't deliver any value, which can frustrate your readers. Instead, be dramatic but truthful, ensuring you provide real insights and information. That's really the key. So when we put it all together, what do we get? Incorporate drama. Start with something surprising or shocking. Build suspense and create tension. Make the reader curious and engaged. Then you reveal the twist, provide a surprising solution, and you end with a dramatic promise. Offer a bold statement that keeps them engaged. So in simple words, write like you're telling a thrilling story with surprising twists and turns, keeping your friends excited and eager to know what happens next, all while being honest and delivering real value. And as a pro tip, another great way to add emotion and drama is to controversially disagree with a commonly held belief. I call this making the big challenge. So making money online is impossible. Imagine if I were to say that. Then that's like the big challenge. So when you challenge things that are very commonly held beliefs, a lot of people want to know why you're challenging them. They're intrigued, they're interested. This is why people like Andrew Tate got so popular, because he would say all these super crazy things and people would watch them, especially his haters would watch them and want to know more.
Well, what color's your brigade? Oh, fuck off then.
Next, we need to talk about optimizing for consumability. Now, while this sounds super long and maybe like some complicated words, basically, we're talking about making things just super easy to read and digest. That's basically it. So we first need to understand that most people today suffer from TikTok brain. Okay, TikTok brain is just the way that I say people are suffering from short form content, which is leading to shortened attention spans. Short form content is causing a complete shift in consumption. Now people can only pay attention to something for 60 seconds or less. Now we need to understand pacing. When you go slow or fast, content that's constantly fast or slow paced is boring. If it's only fast, it's boring. If it's only slow, it's boring. It's important to make your message easy to consume by using pacing. So think of an action movie, for example. Imagine if it was literally just a 90-minute fight scene and there was nothing but exploding cars and craziness. That would get boring after like 10 minutes because it's all fast, all fast, all fast. Now imagine if the whole movie is just talking and waiting and no action scenes, no fight scenes, or no anything. That's an example of it being too slow. But what do great action movies do well? They build up slow and then they go fast, and then they go down slow again, and then they go fast, like a roller coaster. And next is creating intrigue, making readers itch to know what's next. Intrigue is saving the big punchline until the end and revealing the punchline while planting another setup. Here specifically, we're talking about open loops and closed loops. So last time we learned a little bit about what intrigue is. Now I want to talk about how to create intrigue and then give the punchline, but create more intrigue so that people keep reading. This is something that a lot of copywriters struggle with as well, because they kill the intrigue by giving away the punchline too early, and then there's no more open loop to keep the reader reading. So we're going to go through some examples like that. But first, I want to ask you a question. Which version are you more likely to read? The one here on the right that's all big and chunky, or the one here on the left that's more spaced out? You can read it a lot easier and you kind of understand how it's supposed to be said. Because when I read this, I can actually say it out loud and I know what I'm talking about. I know how it's supposed to sound. Here on the right, it's not as much the same. And it's a lot of big chunky paragraphs that makes me not really want to read it. It kind of looks like a book. People don't want to read books. Whereas this over here, this looks a lot easier to read. That's why most modern copy looks like this over here on the left. So this is a good example of what pacing looks like. So on the left, you can see there's some short lines at the top, some longer lines, some short lines. That's going to get consumed. But then there's bad pacing, which is just, this is an example of all slow, long, drawn out paragraphs and sentences. And that's what that looks like. So optimizing for TikTok brain. So we have to understand TikTok brain. This refers to the shortening of attention spans by consuming quick, engaging content like found on TikTok. People now expect information to be delivered fast and in an easily digestible format. And this is another pro tip for you guys, is that it's really not about the amount of value that you give just overall. It's really not about that. It's about the value you provide per minute. So if you have a high amount of value in your email, let's say, and it's only 200 words, that's going to be way better than a email that's 10,000 words, but you put a lot of quote unquote value in it because people aren't going to read it because it's just too long. So if you make it short, punchy, to the point, highly valuable, that is what you're looking for. Why it's important. Number one, short attention spans. People don't spend much time reading long messages. If your copy isn't easy to understand quickly, they'll move on without getting your message. Engagement. Quick, engaging content keeps people interested. If your writing is concise and impactful, people are more likely to read it and take action. Retention. Simple, clear messages are easier to remember. When people remember your message, they're more likely to engage with your content again and again. Pretty self-explanatory. So how do we actually do this? And what are some examples? So start with a strong hook. Grab their attention immediately. So an example of this. Add 2 inches to your biceps in just 90 days. Here's how. So this is obviously something that's geared towards bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are always out here measuring their arms and stuff. So when you say something like adding 2 inches to your biceps in just 90 days, here's how, it's very specific to who you're talking to and what they actually want. If I were to say, here's how to grow your arms, super vague. It's not a new, fresh angle or idea, whereas this is a new, fresh angle right here. Next is you want to use short sentences and paragraphs to keep it simple and to the point. So for example, first, focus on compound exercises. They work multiple muscle groups at once. And then another way that you can do this is to use bullet points and lists. And this is something that you're going to learn about more as we go on, but bullet points are one of the best things to master as a copywriter, because this is how you can give the most amount of value in the shortest and most digestible way possible. Example, lift heavy weights, eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily, get 8 hours of sleep each night. Use visuals. Add images, emojis, or icons to make your text visually appealing as well. Now, it's important to note that with emojis and stuff, you don't want to go too overboard. But if you're writing something like an email, you can put 1 or 2 in there. If you're writing something like an Instagram caption, you can probably put more in there. But they can also convey emotion. So if you put like a laughing face emoji after something, or if you put a serious face or a shocked face, that will convey emotion. Or you can just put it in there to draw the reader's attention. So if you have one big lesson in your whole email and you want attention drawn to it, you can bold it, but you can also like put a pointing finger to it as well, a pointing finger emoji. Next, we want to make sure that we're being direct. Tell them exactly what they need to know without any fluff. So consume a protein shake within 30 minutes after your workout to maximize muscle growth, for example. And then we want to give them a call to action. Encourage them to take immediate action. Download the free 90-day arm building plan and start gaining muscle. That's what it looks like. So let's put it all together. When you write, you want to start with a strong hook by grabbing their attention. Use short sentences and paragraphs to keep it simple and direct. Use bullet points and lists to make it easy to scan. Use visuals, make your text visually appealing. Be direct, get straight to the point, and you want to put a call to action. Okay, so encourage immediate action. So in simple words, write like you're sharing a fun and exciting message that's quick and easy to read, keeping your friends interested and eager to take action right away. And next, we're going to talk about understanding pacing.